Hello, this is Chris Flintoff from Not the Andrew Marr Show. We've been covering all the protests since October. If you want to see more of these, then please subscribe if you haven't already. Look, it's a really, really scary mob we got here. Look, they're so scared of this mob that they've got Hamleys open, the largest toy shop in London, and they're not even worried that we're going to take their teddy bears. Just look at that. What a scary mob we are.
I'm from Leicester. I've come down on the train. This is my fourth time of attending a national march. Previously I hadn't been to any marches, but I feel very strongly that we are complicit both in the ongoing genocide of Gaza and Palestine, but also in providing weapons that are killing innocent people all over Gaza at the moment.
I mean, obviously, being a mum and seeing some of the scenes that we see, you can't not connect to that. It's awful what's happening. With what's going on with all the children, being killed everywhere, being bombed. I can't, we've got to condemn it. So that's why we're here.
There were like police gathering around, people with Israeli flags, and it got a bit rowdy. The vibe of the whole crowd changed, and I could feel that there was a lot of fear and almost hatred and anger, but then it got more towards love as we got towards this part.
Our march today was led by a group of British Palestinians holding the key of return, the symbol of the enduring promise of the Palestinian people to return to the homeland from which their families were expelled. We are joined by the key holders on stage, and one of them, a 14-year-old, Abdul Rahman, will deliver their message to this rally. Please make some noise for Abdul Rahman and the youth of Palestine!
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I stand before you not just to remember the Nakba of 1948, but to acknowledge the ongoing Nakba, the genocide of which we have been witnessing for 7 months in Gaza. How many more innocent Palestinian lives must be lost? How many more children must suffer for the world to end this brutal genocide against my people in Gaza? Please tell me, oh please tell me. As Palestinian children, we dream like all other children. We dream of a happy future, of continuing our education, of living with our families. But no, Israel doesn't want that to happen, and the world remains silent. How many more children must survive without their parents, without their entire families? How many more must be wounded, scattered, deprived of their basic human rights? Israel has created new categories in our Palestinian society through this brutal and hostile genocide. But still, we will not stop hoping for a better tomorrow in Palestine. We will not surrender to the evil, and we will continue to dream of a free Palestine. It is our duty to make this happen. If the adults of today cannot, the children will grow up and they will not forget. The children will make it happen. The children will make it happen in the near future. We hold the key of return today, and we will return tomorrow when this occupation ends. We are the children of today, but we are the future leaders of tomorrow.
Allow me to speak about my ancestors. In the first Nakba in 1948, while my grandmother was giving birth to my father, on the same day, Israel dropped a bomb on a market in Deir al-Balah, where my family is from, and they killed her father and her uncle. On the first months of the Nakba, I lost many of my ancestors. And on the second Nakba, on what they wanted us to believe that it would be the second Nakba, this war, this genocide, I lost my father. I lost my brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews. Generations were erased in this ongoing Nakba. The Nakba did not end in 1948, it continued. It's ongoing. And these Israeli leaders, they said it a few months ago, they said they want another Nakba for Palestine. They want another Nakba for Gaza. But they're wrong. The first Nakba did not end. The first Nakba is ongoing. And what they wanted it to be a second Nakba, it's not gonna be our Nakba. It's gonna be our liberation. It is going to be the beginning of the end to Zionism. It is going to be the beginning of the end to colonization. Not only in Palestine, but everywhere. It's gonna be the end of occupation, colonization, theft of land, besiegement, occupation, apartheid. It's gonna be the end of apartheid in Palestine. And we are just witnessing the beginning of all of that. You are making history, my friends. You're making history by continuing to protest for 7 months in a row. You're not tired, you're not lazy. You are our brothers and sisters, and make no mistake, you are Palestinians. We are all Palestinians. We are all Palestinians. Those who protest for Palestine from the UK, from the US, and at universities all around the world are all Palestinians. And Israel, they can kill many thousands of Palestinians in Gaza. They can kill 15,000 children in Palestine, but they don't know that with every child that they kill, 1 million other Palestinian is born around the world, not only in Palestine. We are marking the beginning of our journey to end Zionism, to end apartheid and occupation. And in our way, in this journey, let's not forget this. Let's not forget that's not only Israel that's complicit against our people in Gaza. There are many others who are complicit. And those who are complicit are Rishi Sunak and the Conservative Party. It's Keir Starmer and the Labour Party. It is time to quit the Labour and Conservative who are complicit in the war crimes against the people in Gaza. It is Joe Biden and the elite class and politicians, they are all complicit in the war crimes in Gaza. The Western media is complicit. It is the BBC and Sky News who are complicit against the blood of my family. They are all complicit. We will not forgive them. We will not forgive them. We will keep protesting until Palestine is free from the river to the sea. Thank you.
Please give a very warm welcome to Yusuf Stevens.
Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you. First, it's incredibly beautiful to be here with you. I've been seeing you on television so many weeks now. It's great to be with the crowd that is with the truth. It's beautiful, beautiful to see all these conscious faces and hearts that have leaned towards the obvious direction of truth and justice, and standing here today facing up to the political obstinacy and blind deafness of the government in not stopping and continuing to support the aggression and the war and the killing and the bombing of innocent children, mothers, families in Palestine. So I'm just here to continue to send a reverberation of the message which we started kind of like the 60s and 70s, but you're not quite dressed the same, but kind of similar. And it's just great to see that rising up again. I was kind of missing it, and you know, keeping the voice loud and clear for the issues that bring us together as human beings, because every human being should have a conscience. And if you bury that conscience, the human being has gone. And therefore, you are the voice of the conscience. Please keep it awake and give your support and continue support. And inshallah, we say, God willing, the peace train will be running down that track one day. Peace, free Palestine!
When I stand on these stages, when I speak at events, when I write in the media, it is with the voices of my ancestors that I am speaking. It is with the voices of my ancestors who were driven from their homes in Spain in 1492 and became refugees that I am speaking. People who faced unimaginable violence, who were forced to leave their homes under the threat of being tortured to death. That doesn't sound like the Israeli experience to me, but it sounds a hell of a lot like the Palestinian one. And when my Ashkenazi comrades in the Jewish bloc speak, when they march, when they make their signs, when they chant, it is with the voices of their ancestors that they are speaking. It is with the voices of people who suffered pogroms, who were murdered by a vicious, fascistic war machine that they are speaking with. It is with the voices of all of our ancestors who are downtrodden, who are oppressed, who are tortured, who are forced to flee their homes, who are forcibly converted, who are killed, who are victims of genocide that we speak with. And it is with the voice of my ancestors in Bosnia who faced such horrific violence 30 years ago that I speak. And it is for them that I stand on this stage and say that we are not free until we are all free, and that we are not free until Palestine is free. There is no opposition between Jewish safety and Palestinian liberation. There is no opposition between Jewish identity and Palestinian liberation. In fact, it is the reason I speak. It is that tradition of liberation, of justice, of truth, of righteousness that compels me to stand on this stage and to tell you that I have never been so proud to be Jewish and to be marching with you. And I have never in my life been so sure that I will live to see a free Palestine.
Now, our next speaker is a Palestinian photojournalist. His pictures have brought the reality of the ongoing genocide in Gaza to the world. He once spoke about how he did not intend to become a war journalist and wished that people knew me for my art because he wanted to capture the beauty of his people. As he speaks, we will show images that he has taken over the last 7 months and images of the beauty of Gaza and its people that were shot before October. It is the greatest privilege to have this person with us here today, so please give him your warmest welcome. Motaz Azaiza!
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You made me feel that there is hope. In the days I would believe that no one could do anything. I didn't believe in anyone. But after more than 226 days today, the moment I saw you, I literally felt there is hope. The hope is in the people, not in the governments. I never prepared a speech. You all know me since the beginning of genocide. I used to be a photographer, amateur, just capturing the beauty of Gaza. But for sorry, every time Israeli occupation destroying even the beauty of Gaza, and for sorry I had to document it for the world to see. I didn't believe that I would stay alive to stand today here in London in front of the people who saw me there under the bombing. I'm so sorry. You make us, as the people of Gaza, start to feel hope again. Occupation is using all the weapons against us. The bombs, the killing, the starvation, apartheid in the West Bank, and now he's using it in Gaza Strip. He's splitting Gaza from the half. He's killing the people, forcing them to leave their lands, killing the innocent babies, as you saw through my footage, killing everyone who just want to live in his home. Thank you so much. I don't have many words. I did my best to show you, and I believe you will do more. We all together will do more to stop the genocide. And believe me, Gaza now sees you. Everyone in Gaza now sees you, and they are very proud of you. Thank you so much. I'm Free Palestine. Always a Free Palestine.
This is a movement that should not be allowed to die. This is a movement that should blossom into a rage to build a better world, free from the imperial designs of the US and her proxies in Europe. And this is where I want to send a strong message to one man, Keir Starmer. Starmer, we know you and the Labour Party have sought to echo every position of your US imperial overlords. When they resisted a ceasefire because Israel had not killed enough, you obeyed. When they vilified the International Court of Justice, you consented. When they sanctioned the UNRWA, you believed willfully the lies, and your hands are stained as Biden. You could have acted as an opposition, but instead your hunger for power and a return to what you call Blairism on steroids has turned a human rights
let's look beyond our immediate comforts and think about what we owe the people around us, and let Gaza be our teacher.
I stand here today very proudly as a Jew, as a South African, and as a resident of Holborn and St. Pancras. I stand here today not only to commemorate 76 years of Nakba, not only to honor the resilience of the Palestinian people, but also to tell you that in South Africa, we experienced a Nakba in 1652, when the first white European settler colonialists arrived on the southern tip of Africa. And just as South Africa freed itself from settler colonialism, from racism, from apartheid, so too will Palestine be free. And what brought about an end to apartheid was tens and millions of people, like we are around the world today, demanding BDS against the racist apartheid state, demanding a ban on all arms sales to the apartheid state, and the millions of students around the world in encampments in support of defeating apartheid in South Africa. And today, we must pay tribute to our students across the United Kingdom, across the world, who are camping for freeing Palestine, who are demanding that their universities divest from the apartheid Israeli state. And let us never forget that Israel was apartheid South Africa's closest ally, providing the apartheid regime with weapons, with military training, and with political support. And that is why it was my country, South Africa, that again returned to the International Court of Justice this past week to say that Israel continues to commit genocide against the Palestinian people. And if the highest court in the world does not find against Israel, then the international rule of law that was created after the horrors of the Holocaust will itself no longer exist. That is what is at stake at the ICJ. David Lammy suggested that my former boss, Nelson Mandela, would not support the actions of our students. Does David Lammy not know that it was Nelson Mandela, as president of the ANC Youth League, who demanded the ANC adopt an armed struggle against apartheid? Does David Lammy not know that Nelson Mandela traveled the world from university to university after he was released to thank the students for their role in bringing about an end to apartheid? As Nelson Mandela's grandson said, David Lammy is besmirching the name of his own grandfather, Nelson Mandela, in defense of genocide, like the entire leadership of the Labour Party. So, let us honor the true legacy of Nelson Mandela. Let us never forget that after 27 years in an apartheid prison, Nelson Mandela walked free to say, our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of the Palestinian people. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you everyone for coming here today. Thank you for making the effort, making the sacrifice, and showing our undying solidarity with the people of Palestine on Nakba Day. And thank all the organisations that have put this together. Obviously the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, Stop the War Coalition, CND, Palestine Forum, and so many more that have brought us all together in this great sense of unity on Nakba Day. In 1948, 700,000 people were driven out of their homes on Nakba Day and the days that followed. Many died, many went to live in refugee camps in Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, and as a diaspora around the world. And many went to Gaza, where they've lived ever since. 700,000 in 1948, and in the last 6 months alone, 1.5 million Palestinians in Gaza have now been driven from their homes. And as the Israeli Defense Force threatens to drive them all out of Gaza into the Sinai to set up a new Gaza Strip there. This has been denounced by the International Court of Justice, by the UN Security Council, by the General Assembly, by the Geneva Convention. Every international legal body has found against Israel in its behavior, in its bombardment, and in its occupation. So our message on Nakba Day 2024 is cease fire now, an end to the occupation of Gaza and the West Bank, and justice for the Palestinians in refugee camps all over the region, and indeed the diaspora all over the world. This is a very difficult day for all Palestinian people. They all have relatives, friends, and loved ones who suffered in 1948 and have suffered ever since then. It is our message to them of solidarity today. And I want to say particular thank you to those all around the world, those students all around the world who've occupied their universities, demanded an end to the occupation, demanded an end to the investments and the arms trade. I also want to say thank you to those artists at the Great Escape Festival in Brighton who have refused to perform because it's sponsored by Barclays. So don't give up on those artists. Support them as they're supporting us. And the last thing I want to say is this. I had a very long conversation yesterday with a good friend, Dr. Ofer Kasif, who is a member of the Knesset, the Israeli parliament. He's been threatened with removal from the parliament. He's been threatened with all kinds of things because he went on a Nakba Day march in solidarity with the Palestinian people. And he asked me to give this message and says this: millions in Israel, Palestine, and Jews alike oppose Netanyahu's government and those crimes. Do not give up on us. Well, look around you today. We're a movement of people. We're a movement of people of all faiths, of quite a wide variety of political views, but we will not give up on the demand for justice for the Palestinian people. We'll not give up demanding the British government stop supplying arms. And that political movement will not go away either. We're a global movement for peace, for justice, for a sustainable world where we don't waste the world's resources on arms. We instead invest the world's resources on people and our environment. Stand together, solidarity, thank you.